Well, hello and welcome to this Facebook Live. My name is Sandy Newbigging, the author of 11 books, with the most recent one being Calm Cure, that comes out tomorrow officially, globally. I want to jump on tonight and talk about time. And it's kind of ironic, really, because when I did this Facebook Live this morning in the past, and somehow I managed to delete the video, delete the replay, and with such a great response whilst I was recording it from the guys that managed to show up live, I thought I should do it again. So here we go, take two on how to use Calm Cure on time. And so how these unexpected extracts from the new book work? The new book works is that I tend to read a few pages from the chapter that's relevant, and then share a few extra things that come to me as I proceed through the words on the page. So there you go. We're going to talk about time. Time is so important to, and our relationship with time. It's so important because it impacts how we feel. If we're feeling sadness or shame or regret or anxiety or fear or angst about the future. And it also impacts the results we get and how able we are to create what we want in our life. And so you might think it's a bit of a stale subject, talking about time, but actually it's one of the most important topics there are. And we must heal our relationship with time if we want to feel fantastic and do fantastic things with this life. So let me begin by reading from the chapter 9, Time, and the subtitle is Bounded to Beyond. Bounded to Beyond. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this little read. We are generally living longer. Yet despite the extra years on planet Earth, an increasing proportion of the population are stressed by their schedules and believe they don't have enough time. Year on year since 2001, in a Gallup lifestyle study, around 50%, that's a big number, 50% of Americans report they don't have enough time. How would you respond to this survey? Would you say you have ample time or do you feel squeezed by your schedule? Why do so many of us end up chasing our tails with an apparent lack of time? How do we end up trapped by time, dwelling on the past, not able to fit everything in, and fretting about the future? If you're running from one thing to the next, or find you regularly feel sad, stressed, or anxious, then it's time to heal your relationship with time. It's time to heal your relationship with time. And I have a quote here that says, healing your relationship with time starts by being here and now, in the timeless reality of the present moment. I go on to say, in Mind Calm, which is another book that I wrote, I introduced the idea of the time trap when talking about why we spend so much time thinking about the past and future. The time trap is subtle and stems from the belief that the past or future are relevant to experiencing what we ultimately want in life, whether that's peace, love, happiness, or achieving certain goals. Quite simply, if we believe what happens in the past or might happen in the future is relevant to our current sense of self, wellness, and success, we will feel compelled to think forever about the past and future. However, when we stop pausing the present to go into the past or fixating on the future, we can instantly be free from many time-based problems. So that's the introduction, kind of a couple paragraphs of that chapter of the book. And let me just emphasize the power and the importance of the time trap. The time trap is the belief that the past and future is relevant to our current levels of peace, happiness, joy, contentment, freedom, or whatever you might want. It's a belief that's relevant. If we believe that the past, what's happened in your past, is impacting how you are today or how you feel today, or we believe that what might happen later, certain thing has to happen for me to be okay and safe and secure and happy and feel successful. If we believe the past and future is relevant to how we feel right now, then guess what? We're going to feel compelled to forever think about the past and future anytime thoughts about the past and future come into our awareness. Lisa says, this idea changed me forever. I used to live in the past and future all the time. Thank you, Kiss. Oh, that's so nice, Lisa. That's so nice. And it really can. It can change a person forever, ironically, if we can learn how to be back in the present moment. So let me continue, as I have people mowing the grass next door and a plane flying above. I don't know if you can hear me over all the racket. But let me continue with sharing the next bit. A section called All the Time in the World. One of the main reasons why so many people don't feel they have enough time is because they aren't present. They waste a huge amount of time overthinking about the past and future, which then causes them to miss the only moment that matters, when they can actually get anything done. Also, when missing the moment and caught up in the mind, they end up feeling their thinking. Instead, if their thoughts happen to be about upsetting past events or scary future possibilities, then that is how they inevitably end up feeling. So if you feel bound by tight deadlines, don't feel you get enough done, experience anxiety or concern about what might happen, or know you often miss the moment, here are 3 principles for healing your relationship with time. Let me really lay it out plain and simple. If you believe the past and future are relevant, and you keep thinking about the past and future, there's a very high chance you're going to experience human suffering, stress, a whole host of negative emotions, and never actually fulfill the purpose for which you were born. Anytime we have a problem, it's actually because anytime we're experiencing stress or anxiety or anger, sadness, fear, guilt, hurt, grief, all the negative emotions that most people would rather avoid. Anytime we're experiencing these emotions, we are thinking about something that isn't happening right now. Take that on board. You might go, no, but this thing that's causing me concern is happening in my life right now. It might be happening in your life circumstances, but right now, you have to leave the direct experience of the present moment to go into your mind to start thinking about what's happening, or what appears to be happening, which is basically going into the past. Or at least it's an imagination. If you want to feel better, you need to get back to the present moment. And so I share 3 principles in order to encourage you to be less entangled in your mind, thinking about the past and future. And 1 principle to also help you to really understand why you want to be present. So let me continue with principle 1. The past is only a medley of memories. Oh, thank you for the love, guys. The past is only a medley of memories. Without inventing a time machine, you cannot change what's happened in the past. By this point, you will have a multitude of memories, ranging from the radiant to the ridiculous, and the sad to the serene. Some you will be delighted to have experienced, others you may wish had never happened and could vanish from your mind forever. Despite your perspective on what's happened during the years leading up to now, reducing your attraction to dwelling on the past can save time and stress and suffering. So it's about reducing your attraction to engaging all the thoughts about the past. And then there's a subtitle that says, Mind-Made Memories. Healing your relationship with time requires recognizing that the past isn't happening in the reality of now, but only ever in your mind. Did you hear that? I'm going to say it again. Healing your relationship with time requires recognizing that the past isn't happening in the reality of now, but only ever in your mind. Memories are a type of thought, and the past is simply a collection of thought-based memories. When you view your memories as thoughts, it stops the past being so real, relevant, and distressing. You discover that the past becomes a problem when you leave the present moment to feel your thoughts about a previous time that isn't happening anymore. With this understanding, you will see the big benefits of being here and now and no longer entertaining thoughts about the past. Now, I appreciate some thoughts may seem very real and give the impression that present-day peace isn't possible because of what happened. But the truth is, your memories are no more real than anything else you can conjure up using your imagination. When I realized that the things that were hurting me were basically my imagination and me getting all engaged and putting all my attention on my imagination, oh my God, my past became so much less scary. I became free from overthinking and worrying about what had happened and what they said and why did they do that, and the heartbreak from relationships evaporated, the hurt from bullying that I'd gone through in my life all disappeared. So many things disappeared when I saw that my suffering was coming not from what happened, but by engaging my thoughts now about what happened in the past. And I invite you to do the same, because you can be free from your past so quickly. Next couple pages later, I say, for any past memories you feel compelled to think about and bring up negative emotions when you do, use the Calm Cure, see Chapter 3, to clear any conflict towards what happened. Unresolved memories are simply previous events that you are still in conflict with. If any memory generates anger, sadness, hurt, fear, guilt, grief, shame, remorse, or any discomfort when thinking about it, then you're holding on to some kind of conflict in relation to it. You're resisting what happened because you remain attached to something else happening instead. My dad should have stayed. My mum should have been more loving. I shouldn't have failed at that business, or whatever. When releasing yourself from the prison of the past, the first step is always to recognize that memories are just thoughts that we're giving far too much attention to. With self-awareness and the Calm Cure technique, bring conscious calm to the memories that you've been unconsciously in conflict with. Doing so will cause you to dwell on the past far less and free up your focus for the present moment. So that's a little extract from the principle when I talk about how the past is only a medley of memories. I then go on to talk about how the future is only a fantasy. And later on in that section, I talk about how anxiety can become a thing of the past when you stop fantasizing about the future. Knowing that the future is only a collection of thoughts that happen in your mind can also be a complete game changer. For anyone suffering from chronic fear or anxiety, you can see that any concern you have about future events is not due to what might happen, but by thinking about what might happen. Oh my God. So if you've been experiencing anxiety or panic attacks or fear, you can discover that these things are not happening because of what might happen, but because you're thinking about what might happen. When you know your fear or anxiety are not because of the bad things that might happen, but by feeling your thinking, you stop being a victim to future possibilities. You can be free from the future by engaging present moment awareness and using the Calm Cure to explore any possible experiences you are in conflict with. The last bit. As you reduce your resistance and attachment towards the future, you won't feel the need to think about it so much. You'll be able to give your fullest attention to now, and in doing so, be far more effective and fearless. And then finally, I talk about how, finally for this video anyway, I talk about how the present is the only moment that exists. And this explains why I call the chapter From Bounded to Beyond. Time is always limited, with 60 minutes per hour and 24 minutes in any given day. As long as you live within the parameters of time, you will remain bounded by the constant countdown of the nearest ticking clock. Time is also a mind-made construct that in reality doesn't actually exist. Yes, there is day and night, and time can be useful for meeting a friend or catching a movie, yet there is ultimately no such thing as 9 AM, for example. Time can feel like it's slipping away, running out, and can cause stress when we forget this truth. I think I disappeared, but I'm back, so I'll continue talking. I basically got to a point where I want you to ask, or I want you to say, but when you let go of the concepts of time and return to your attention, all of your attention to now, you immediately go beyond its linear borders and boundaries to experience the timeless reality of the present moment. I choose to refer to this as reality, as a reminder that this moment is the only time that is real. By letting go of the limits of time, you spend more time in reality and discover in your own experience that this moment is the only moment that exists. And I pose a question. Do you want to experience real life, or spend the majority of your days in a medley of memories or fictitious fantasies? And so that's really it, guys. I then talk, share other things in the book, but do you want to spend your life lost in memories or future fantasies? Or do you want to live in reality? Now, for me, I want to live in reality. It's one of my major drivers for doing the work that I do, writing about what I write about, meditating, and all the rest of it. I want to experience a real life. I want to squeeze every moment out of every moment that I get to experience in this earth. I also, in this chapter, just one last thing I want to share, is I talk about how to use the Calm Cure in common time issues, and there's one of them I want to highlight. Which is the illusion of later. I will do it later, tomorrow, soon, one day. Procrastination is a problem for a multitude of well-intentioned people. And well-deserved, but they're well-intentioned people. Whenever you are procrastinating, you're buying into the belief that later exists. Ooh. It doesn't. Now is the only moment you can do anything. If you're constantly planning to do things later and never actually get around to doing any of them, then you are essentially planning to do things at a time that will never happen in reality. So you want to ask yourself to let go of procrastination. How does the thought of taking action now make me feel? You get that inner feeling, and then you can use the Calm Cure to get peace with it, so that's no longer blocking you anymore. Clear the conflict to massively increase your present moment performance and stop waiting for a time that will never come. So that's my little unexpected extract from the new Calm Cure book. I'm calling them unexpected because you'll see the title of the book, the subtitle is The Unexpected Way to Improve Your Health, Your Life, and Your World. And there are lots of unexpected things in this book that once you see them, you're like, oh, why didn't I realize that? But they make a lot of sense once you play with them and apply them. So that's what I wanted to share with you for this quick Facebook Live on time. I hope you found it useful. Give me some love if you did. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Phoebe says wise words. Thank you very much. Tracy says the present moment just got cuter. Thank you very much, Tracy. Angela says just what I need. Been living in past for years. Thank you. That's really great, Angela. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and watching this unexpected extract. Feel free to share it with anyone you think could do with coming back to the present moment and enjoying the boundless benefits from doing so. I've got to rush off now because I have a Calm Clan membership community, calmclan.com, and on the first Monday of every month I host a live broadcast where it's called The Gathering, and we all meditate together. I take questions, I give guidance, and people can benefit from that. So if you're wanting to access over 100 hours of teaching videos, exclusive guided meditations, regular live broadcasts. This is just the first broadcast of the month that I do. I have other coaches that do the gatherings every week for the rest of the month. I also do a 2-hour workshop every month, diving into topics like this and others that are relevant. We have guest experts. I mean, it's so much for so little. You can join at calmclan.com. It's free for your first 30 days, so you can just suss it out and see if you like it. And then it's £10.80 a month, which is tiny compared to what you get, and you'll only stay a member if you're benefiting, so you can't lose. So maybe check out thecalmclan.com. When you log in, you come to a member's homepage, and you can literally click on the button to join tonight's broadcast if you happen to see it, or any live broadcast. And there's also quick links to the guided meditations and the online courses and the archive of workshops and gatherings, and the special member benefits, and 50% off my live events and all that sort of stuff. So there's loads of stuff, benefits for being a member. It's not an aggressive sell. I'm just so passionate about making sure people know that this stuff exists, because everyone that's found out about it so far is really happy that they actually knew about it and they had no clue I was doing it. So thank you so much for tuning in. And the book comes out tomorrow, so I'll pop on Facebook Live tomorrow to share some other unexpected extracts and celebrate the launch of Calm Cure, book number 11, and one I'm probably most proud of. So thank you so much for joining me for this Facebook Live, and until we next speak, I wish you infinite peace and limitless love. Bye for now, guys.